I get things all the time, like guys hop on the role plays in my program and they're just like, oh, like this guy, this business that a competitor of ours has the exact same offering for less money and they offer this as well. How do I get over that? I go, brother, you don't. Like so many times I hear people try and say the same thing, but they're like, oh, like if the money was an issue, would you do it? I'm like, how is that even close to the same question that I asked? If they're just as good as you and they're cheaper and offer a bit more, they should go with the other person. In order for us to put together the strategy for your social media campaigns, be able to actually find out what you guys do, what you guys need, put all those things in place that we talked about and actually kind of get you the result so you can get more leads, so you can make more sales, so you can remove yourself from the business. How do you want to proceed from here?
I need to go over the company finances and look at what we've already spent in marketing this month, because we might have to wait until next month.
Hey guys, what's up? Me and Caden here today, and this is going to be a follow-on from our previous one, which I think is out on your channel now, right, Caden?
Yep, it's out on my channel.
Awesome. Where last time Caden was role-playing different objections about insurance, and today I'm kind of going to role-play. And then what we'll do is we'll do like some role-play, and then we'll just kind of break it down and talk about like how to think about it, what you can do. Because I think that there's always that people want word tracks, right? They just want,
what's the script?
Yeah. What do you say when? But it's like in reality, you get a much better result if you understand the principles. Mm-hmm. And you understand sort of what someone's doing and why they're doing it, and then from there, because once you understand the principles, then you can freestyle. It's like playing guitar. If you understand how the fretboard works, you can freestyle. If you don't, you can't. Even if your fingers will do whatever you want, if you don't know how the notes are supposed to go together. And so, it's the same thing with objections, but I just think that people freak out, they freeze. What are some of the common things that you see in people when they're handling objections?
Yeah, the exact same thing, right? People freak out, they freeze because of exactly what you're talking about. I think we've always agreed on this, that the word tracks, I think the word tracks actually are necessary for a brand new rep to memorize the word tracks, and you are going to be more reliant on word tracks when you're brand new. But at a certain point, if you're going from brand new to actually being really good at objection handling, you have to get good at knowing the principles and then get good at listening so that you can hear the principles when the prospect is talking to you. And then I don't even know as though I would call it freestyling, because you're still operating within a very specific framework. It just feels like freestyle, but to somebody that's brand new, you're not freestyling at all, because you know exactly what you're doing, but it feels like freestyle. You're basically in like a flow state rather than trying to like micromanage the whole thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they get lost and they try and handle like the specific wording that someone's saying.
Yep.
And they really try and, I think, break it down into a level of specificity that probably isn't required, when in reality, like they're probably just giving you a money objection or a trust objection or a value or something. Like it's all kind of, you can break it down into buckets, it doesn't really need to be overanalyzed too much. Whereas, a lot of
just
people
need some reassurance.
Yeah, and I think like people are shocked when they give an objection. It's like it's just a basic concern. It's like, mate, you're asking them for money over the phone. Like it's fair enough. It's fine. Like just be cool with it. Like it's, oh yeah, sweet, and then just answer the question. The other one is people go into like this weird sales robot mode.
Yep.
Where they're just like, oh, so what I'm hearing you say, and they say all these like they say words that only a salesperson would say.
Yep.
Which becomes a real problem. And then it's like they can't ask a question. They can't go, what do you mean by that?
No.
They can't just say the thing.
No, because you've already triggered the other person to treat you like a salesperson, which means they're going to tell you no, and they're not going to tell you anything if you're saying words that every other salesperson says and trigger that in the prospect. It starts to move backwards.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so what to do? We'll be selling some sort of I don't know. We'll just do like some sort of coaching thing, right? We'll just do
a marketing agency.
Sure, marketing agency sounds good. Digital marketing services, right? I think it's important with the pitch. I think for this kind of stuff, I like to, one of the more important things is that give yourself an opportunity to roll the ball down the hill. Okay, so don't pitch like your cheapest version, and don't pitch and say payment plan and financing. Just avoid those things when you're doing this. You can bring them in, but you need to give yourself, again, good objection handling is having a process that you can use that is replicatable, repeatable, and you can fall back into the process. So if I go like, hey, it's $15,000 and we have payment plans available, Caden is only ever going to say, what are the payment plans? So like it's a use, like I don't want to have that conversation yet because I haven't established that he wants it and needs it. And also, if it's $15,000 only if he pays in full, but it's $17,000, right? If he pays over a payment plan, then I'm going to say 17, because if I say 15, then I have to go, okay, if we broke it up for you, would that help? Well, yeah. Well, we do charge, extra. So now it's like, oh, hey, you don't have the money? Yes, sweet, I'll charge you more. It's a stupid thing to say.
Yep.
So we just make it easier on ourselves, and we go, hey, it's $17,000, and in order for us to XYZ, and then it's like, okay, cool. And then I go, hey, if we broke it up, would that help you? Yes, sweet. Yeah, it's 2 payments of X, and it doesn't get any more expensive, or it's 3 payments of X, or it's 4 payments of X, and it gets no more expensive. And then from there, I don't have to have the argument. And then if he can pay, then he gets a discount. Happy days. Like everyone's excited, So that's one of the bigger things, first and foremost, that if you do that, your life is just a bit easier,
1,000%. It's you have to get in the right position. Like the tactics and the skills only matter if you're in the right position, I think, is kind of what you're saying. And like how you pitch is what puts you in the right position. And so we both see it all the time where people come in and they're like, how do I handle this objection? It's like, how did you even get that objection?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's probably similar in the military too. Like you have to be in an ideal spot to take a shot, I would assume. Obviously not all spots are going to be ideal, but there are probably certain spots that you don't shoot from. If you're in a bad spot, you probably move, or you have to adjust.
You just wanna do yourself favors, right? So you set yourself up to where like you're not fucked. And so many people are going like saying the cheapest option and saying we have payment plans available, and then it's like you're immediately about to enter into a conversation about a payment plan that you have no idea if the person actually wants, because you don't even know if they want the thing. And the payment plan is gonna be more expensive than the price you just quoted them anyway. So it's like when you look at it like that, it seems obviously stupid. But I've never heard anyone, or I don't hear anyone talking about that in particular. They always like, oh yeah, payment plans. It's like, why would you pitch with payment plans? Like, go drop to it, have a process, right? So anyway,
you're doing that. You're probably doing it because you're nervous, because you don't know how to objection handle. So you're trying to do it smoother. So
yeah,
let's jump into some objection handling.
Yeah, like our cadence. So like, in order for us to put together the strategy, for your social media campaigns, be able to actually find out what you guys do, what you guys need, put all those things in place that we talked about, and actually kind of get you the result so you can get more leads, so you can make more sales, so you can start to remove yourself from the business. It's $15,000. How do you want to proceed from here?
You said 15,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think, if I could just like maybe sleep on it for a night or two and then get back to you, like today's Monday. If I could get back to you on like Wednesday, Thursday, if we could maybe like, schedule a time so I could think about it, go over everything.
For sure. When you're going over it, what are the specifics that you're going to be thinking about?
I just want to, look over everything we talked about, like maybe check over kind of the current marketing that we're doing. And just make sure it all fits.
Fits how?
It's just it's just a bit more than what I was anticipating. And
Okay.
so
Money aside, though, do you feel like this could be the answer for you?
Yeah, I do think it could be.
Why's that?
Just like what you laid out with the campaigns and the way you guys set it up seems like it could help, with our targeting and make our targeting a little bit more specific. Because it sounds like like our copy doesn't seem like it's necessarily too bad, but the targeting definitely seems to be an issue because of, what the sales reps are saying.
Okay. Is there anything else that you feel like is kind of like the key to the castle for you?
I guess just the fact that you guys have done it a lot more than us.
Okay.
You guys have done it a lot more than us. Whereas like
I would hope so.
I think our marketing team is great, but they're all a little bit newer.
Okay. Okay. So what are some ways that we can come up with the funds to where you can get that targeting, get that experience, and make sure that you actually start driving the ball forward instead of kind of like just kind of spinning the wheels like what you are?
Yeah, I need to go over the company finances.
Yep.
And look at what we've already spent in marketing this month, because we might have to wait until next month to be able to fit it into like the, like the.
Yeah. And is that because of the upfront amount? Like, is it the overall, or if we were to break that up, would that actually help you out?
Yeah, if you guys could break it up, that actually could be helpful.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Do you want me to go through that with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet as. Yeah. So it's pretty normal. People come to us, right, because they want to get better leads, which is going to equate to better sales. And I mean, and so it's pretty normal for people not to have all of that kind of upfront. So what we generally do is break it over 2 payments, 4 weeks apart, and that's 7,500. Does that work more than the current budget, or?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot closer.
Yeah, yeah. We can do 3 payments of 5. Is that kind of like, is that going to help you out?
Yeah, that would definitely help.
Okay, would 3 payments of 5,000 30 days apart work within your current kind of budgetary constraints?
Yeah, that would work. I mean, do you guys have like a
Yeah.
guarantee or anything like that? Like,
I mean, I
what if,
guarantee that, you're going to pay tax, and if you die, you pay more tax, and what I
of
mean?
course.
Like, right? So, but I think that we put everything in place to be able to, get the outcome and work with you, right? And so it's only a win-win if you win, because I don't want to just have you pay me once. I want to pay you a bunch of times, right? That wouldn't be a very good business, you know what I mean? And so, but that works in your guys' current budget.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay, cool. How do you want to proceed?
Hey guys, what's up? Matt here, and I've noticed that a lot of you are not subscribed. So what I want you to do is like go over and hit the little subscription. It really helps the channel out. And if you like the kind of content that I do, and you're like, hey, how can I get similar content but pay for it? Then I have a membership. You can go over and join that at any stage that you want. It's like $49 a month, up to about $200 a month. And we do like live Q&As. We have a coaching call nearly every single day. And there's like well over 100 videos. And I upload like sort of private trainings and stuff that I do all the time. So if you want to check that out, go for it. Sign up through YouTube, cancel anytime, all that kind of good stuff. And anyway, back to the video. Bye.
Yeah, I think I just.
But we'll just do a timeout real
I don't know.
quick, because like people are like, oh, it's easy. It's like, no, it's easy because you just follow the steps, and it's like it's a genuine. So people have to want it first and foremost.
Yeah.
Right? They have to want the thing, and that's your job on a sales call, is to get them to want the thing. If I'm like, I don't know, they just don't. They're just like, they don't see the value. Well, you suck at sales, bro. Like, or you're trying to force a round peg into a square hole, and like it is what it is. Sometimes it's not a fit. You have to be okay with that. Like that's just a reality.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's fine. Like these things happen. But like what you like, people make it so weird, and they make it way weirder than what it has to be. And if it's a money concern, like just going through, so it's like, okay, so first of all, I uncovered a concern. I was searching for a concern. A lot of people are trying to figure out ways to not get an objection. But in that realm, when I am like, hey, like the hardest objection to overcome is the one that they never say. So I was adamant, like I asked, I think 2 or 3 times, like, what are you going over? Like, hey, I just want to go away and think about it. I'll let you have your thing. I was like, cool. And when you go and think, what are you going to think about? Well, this, and this. Okay, but what about that specific though? Well, it's the budget. As soon as you said that finance, I said, money aside though, do you feel like this could be the answer? Oh yeah, which is a pretty common response, because if they say no, then you're done. Like, yeah, it is what it is, right?
You're cooked.
Yeah, it's done. So it's like, yes, okay, cool. Why is that? well, for this, and this, is there anything else that you feel like is a key for you? Okay, that's important wording, because then I go, okay, so what are some ways that we can come up with the funds to where you can get? And then I mention the things specifically that he mentioned, which he says are the keys to him getting results. Like, then now we're not in a we're in a game where it's like, okay, cool, and I keep my powder dry, and I go a 2-pay. I judge the reaction. I know I have a 3-pay. I might even have a 4-pay, right? But I'm going to judge the reaction and go, if I broke that into 2 payments, would that help you out? And I say, would that help you out? Because I'm not saying, would you do that? I'm saying, would that help you out? Would that work more within the budget? I'm not saying, like, it's not definitive.
It's
And
all about them.
yeah, and all of that is really important. Like, so many times I hear people try and say the same thing, but they're like, oh, like, if the money was an issue, would you do it? I'm like, how is that even close to the same fucking question that I asked?
Yeah.
Like, sure, the words sound somewhat similar, but saying if the money was an issue, would you do it, is a definitive statement about the transaction and commitment. I'm saying, money aside, do you feel like this could be the answer for you? So it's a very non-committal neutral statement, because it's designed to get the ball rolling. It's the little, it's the first domino. It's not the last. You know, the
Well, and how
tiny
important
dominoes,
is
the big
like
one.
how you deliver that though? Because you're delivering everything. I mean, you deliver most things with a lot of certainty and a lot of conviction. So in objection handling, how important do you feel that is for somebody that doesn't have that?
I think you want to realize that the certainty comes from, really what you want to do is be neutral and confident,
Yeah.
right? If you're
Yep.
going, well, I guess, like, money, if the money wasn't an issue, like, would this maybe potentially possibly could it be a problem? It's like, shut up. It's just,
Yep.
money aside, do you feel like this could be the answer for you? It's like, just know that word track, kick it off, and let the dominoes fall. And then it's about just going and just dealing with the things that are in front of you, and then dealing with the positives. Like, if you gave
Yep.
me an answer like, I guess it could be, I'd say, why do you feel like it could though?
So you're going positive.
So I'm just going positive. Well, I guess this, and the person's gonna have to sort of sit there and think about it and look and actually go, okay, well, this is the positives. You know, is there anything else that you feel like would be the key to you? Well, yeah, I guess this. Okay, what are some ways that we can come up with the funds to where you can get XYZ, so you can start, insert thing here,
It's
right?
almost
And then
like
they go,
everything you're saying it with this underlying kind of thought process in your head that I know how to solve your problem. Like I know how to solve your problem. I've seen it 1,000 times. Like this is so easy for me. So there's this underlying conviction, but you're not saying that, but it's an underlying conviction of like,
yeah,
and that makes it very hard to move forward. And then your neutrality is just like, okay, what are we doing here? Like I know how to solve your problem.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And then, it's just about going through and just having a process that you're confident in, right? So the end state is like, there's a bunch. It's a patient way of doing it, because I'm not trying to get to the end too quickly. I'm willing to stay there, ask the questions, figure it out. I'm creeping my way around. Like, it's just turn the door, you have to kick it open. And so, first step, money aside, do you feel like this could be the answer for you? Get them from whatever they are to a little bit more positive. If they go, oh yeah, it is. Oh, okay. Like, what is it about it? I feel like, I guess, it could be, which is about the most negative statement you usually get. I guess it
Yeah.
could be. What makes you feel like it could though? Because they said, I guess it could be. What makes you feel like
Yep.
it could though? Get them from a 49 to a 55% positive, right? And then from
Yep.
there they go, well, this, and you go, oh, okay. What is it about that? Well, this. Is there anything else that you feel like could be the kind of the key to the castle for you? This. Now they're like 49, 59, 69, 79, 89% positive.
So they're
And then,
stacking up the value again
yeah,
that you just went over.
yeah. And it's like, okay, what are some ways that we can come up with the funds? We come up with the funding to where you can, and then you get the things that they just said, so they can get outcome they said they wanted. What are some ways that we can come up with the funding to where you can get that experience, get that better targeting, so you can actually start driving better leads to your sales team sort of, get the revenue back up to where it needs to be. They're like, and you can let them sit there for a minute, and they might have ideas, right? And you can be like, hey, is it the upfront amount? Or if we broke it up, would that help you? Or however, like, if you might have different available options, you might have funding, whatever, right? But that's why, and again, that's why it's important to always give yourself the ability to drop somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't
Because it's
just pitch
collaborative, but you might need to drive the ball forward sometimes. Like you're giving them the space to think through it right there.
Yeah.
It seems like where it's like, what are your ideas? And you give them a second to start thinking. But if they take too long, then you're moving the ball forward. You're not just going to sit there for 5 minutes. It doesn't sound like.
No, yeah, exactly. So, but I'm gauging the person's reaction, like when I like in that role play. Because if you guys get what I just did, if you get that right, most of your objections will be fine. People who can do it will do it because that is their most common concern. And most of the time, when I hear people handle money objections, it's atrocious.
Yeah.
It's like it's ridiculous, and they say, "Oh, but I did the thing." It's like, no, you didn't. You said if the money wasn't an issue, if it was free, would you do it? Well, how is that different? Oh, it's very different. If I say I butt dialed your mom last night or I booty called your mom last night, oh, it's the same thing. No, mate, it's not the same thing. Like,
what a hilarious analogy.
right? Like, it's not the
But
same.
a really good point. A really good point.
Yeah. So, yeah, like you've got to be your words really matter. And being flippant with them is not good. And you don't have to say things in the exact same way, but it has to have the same underlying intent. Butt dial booty call, same thing. In 1,000 years, if they look back, like there'll be arguments about the contextualness of butt dial and booty call, and then there'll be some sort of like 2,000 scholar going, well, actually, that meant fornication. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Reference Instagram. So
yeah,
it's really intense. And then you have that opportunity just to kind of drop them down and be really, really intentional with your words, and then you can take them through a really nice process where you're just being patient and just turning the door, and it actually becomes quite simple. And then you can stop trying to handle every objection, and you can just start getting good at following people into the objections that you know how to handle. Because I sort of only handle money, partner, and think about it. Those are really the only objections that I handle because it's probably money. Even partner,
you
and
drive all of them to money.
Yeah. Like if you didn't give me anything, I would have just said money aside. Like if you stayed in the nebula zone, like I probed you to try and get something, but in my head, my plan was if I don't get anything here, I'm gonna go, okay, well, money aside though, do you feel like this? It was gonna be the exact same. There was gonna be nothing because I knew it was money. Because it's always money. If they want to go away and think about it, they want to think about the money. If they want to ask their partner, it's ask their partner to spend the money. If they like whatever it is, it comes down to either it's the money or the value, and the value is just, is it worth the money?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's
Right?
always money in some way, shape, or form, like logistical or fear based or value based. The money is rooted in there.
Yeah. And then the other trap that I find people fall into is because they think it's cool, they funnel people into those like fear-based objections. So they'll because it's cool, right? Like it's reframes, and they learn something on a fucking sales podcast or whatever they watched, you know what I mean? And so what they end up doing is they end up kind of, and also it's a massive cope for most sales reps. They go, oh, the person had a bad mindset, they had fear objection. It's like, no, but you never even handled money. Like you just went. And so that's the cope.
Straight to fear.
Yeah. So it's like, but had they have just sort of done it properly, they would have realized that, like, yes, maybe it is, and sometimes yes, it is, right? But the fear of success and the fear of failure, which is what fear objections are, right? Essentially, it's fear of success, fear of failure. Like, those are the really main categories, because they don't have confidence in themselves, or they're like, and fear of success is way more rare. Like it's incredibly rare. I've come up against it like maybe once or twice in my entire sales career.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
Yeah. But fear of failure is like, it's fair enough. Like I've tried stuff in the past and it hasn't worked out, right? So they don't trust themselves to do it. They're, and it's fair enough, right? So, but that's really what it comes down to. But it's just far less common because most people who come through, like especially direct response advertising, are in a place where they're relatively ready. If they see a solution that they think ticks the boxes in which they can afford, there's a good chance that they'll pull the trigger on it. You know what I mean? Which is evident by
Especially
the fact
men.
that, like, what was that? Sorry.
Especially men.
Yeah, yeah, dude, you'll have a crack. You know.
Yeah.
And so it's like, as long as the a lot of the time offers suck, which is like, that's a big one. Like, it's hard to have a really good close rate on just an offer. And when I say offer, I mean like the market positioning of the product. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like commoditized, or something. It's just not amazing. And or you're selling something where there's like, I get things all the time. Like, guys hop on the role plays in my program, and they're just like, oh, like this guy, this business that's like a competitor of ours has the exact same offering for less money, and they offer this as well. How do I get over that? I go, brother, you don't. Like you hope and pray they don't know about it. I mean, if they're just as good as you, which is what you're saying to me, and they're cheaper and offer a bit more, they should go with the other person. Like, that
Like,
would be the best thing for them.
yeah.
So I'm like, what are you saying? Like, how you hope and pray that they don't know about it. That's all. That's all that happens there. Or you go work for the other business. That's what I recommend. Go work for
It
the
can
other
work
business.
for the other one.
Yeah. How do I fix
Simple.
that? Oh, go be the other guy, man. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, but there are just some things you just can't overcome shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe if they do have a fatal flaw, then go find it. Like, that's fine. But at the end of the day, like, don't try and overcomplicate it for yourself.
You
And
better
just
be
have that
damn good to
approach.
help somebody overcome a fatal flaw like that. Like if it's actually like a big limiting belief that is holding the person back, you have to be so good to overcome that you probably didn't end up in that fucking situation anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really difficult to overcome, like, and also it's sort of like, it's not your job. It's not your
Yeah.
job to be a therapist. And if you're going to spend like 90 minutes with someone just convincing them to have any level of efficacy in themselves, like, maybe that's just not your job. Um,
Yeah. You bring up a really
I
good point there though, that time matters. Like, do
big
you,
time.
in your head, as your objection handling, do you ever look at like, are you thinking about time, or is it like, are you just fast at it so it happens quickly? Like, do you ever look at the clock
Yeah.
and consider how much time has passed?
Yes, because like I have very specific escalation points where I'll make it more pointy to try, because like I know there are some area, like there are some, not lines that I'll cross because I don't really go there anymore, but there are some questions that I'll ask that are very definitive. And I want to work my way up there. Like, one of my, like, when I'm cycling through and trying to get someone, like, once I've overcome certain objections and I'm just in kind of like nebulous think about it area, and I'm
Yep.
like, okay, cool. Like, this, it's not even in fear. It's just like a nebulous think about it. And I've just got to hammer down a few points. I'm going to
Yep.
go into what do you need to do to put yourself in the best position to be able to. That's my line. And then it's variants of that. A really, like, the end variant is, what do you need to do? Like, what are the tangible action steps
Mhm.
that you need to do in order to put yourself in the best possible position today, so that, a very specific outcome, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And then it's like that, because I said today, and it's real specific, tangible action steps. Like, that's a variant of, well, what do you need to do to put yourself in the best position to be able to achieve your outcome? That's like the most generic first version, and then it gets hyper specific, and my tonality gets way more like forthright as I go. And if I say that last one, they're like, oh man, like, I have no idea. I go, well, my end is like, you have two options. Does this put you in the best position? Yes. Do you need it? Yes. Do you want it? Yes. Can you afford it? Yes. You have two options: away or towards. Which one do you want to pick?
So it
Well,
escalates.
I'm not
And
sure. Then you're going
at
away.
what time frame? At what time frame would you do that at? Like, is that, because I'm
Well, it's
assuming
like
that's a
either
lot
I'm running
sooner
out
than
of
an hour.
time. Oh yeah, I mean, like I would get there in 10 minutes, right?
Okay, so it's
Because like,
fast.
yeah, because like I'm going through them, and like if you ever, like, like the one that we had, that's how they all go, whether it's real, whether it's role play, whatever it is. Even if people are trying to fuck with me, like because I interrupt, I interject, and like it sounds rude when you say it like that, but it's not when you hear it. It sort of makes sense because you're going, oh, sorry, you said this. What do you mean? Oh, okay, and then you're going straight into it. So it's all like it's very strategic and tactical. Like I'm a professional talker, right?
Yep.
So someone's like on YouTube going, oh, that wouldn't work on me. No, mate, it fucking would. Like in the same way where like when you see a magician and you go, oh, I would pick that up in person, mate. No, you wouldn't. You just wouldn't, dude, because like I'm cool and easy
Yep.
to talk to,
Yep.
right? It's like people think you wouldn't be done by a con man. A good con man would get us all, right?
Yeah, it's just how it is.
I fucking got done by a con man.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's like, oh fuck, that's pretty good, right? Like, well played to you, sir. Like I didn't see that shit coming at all. And I'm smarter than all of you fuckers that are watching, I guarantee it. Right? So it's like,
Guaranteed.
fucking guaranteed. So like, you know, it is what it is. These things happen. So like, you know, for those of you who think, oh, it wouldn't work. No, it probably would. And it's because like, you know, people react to, you know, communication stimuli very, very similar. You know, why is that important to you now though? Man, you're giving me a time frame answer every time. I don't give a fuck. Like every time. Why is
Yep.
that important to you now though? You're going to talk about whatever it is we were just talking about. You're not going to same words, but you're not going to talk about time frame. You're going to talk about the significance of the thing every
Yeah,
time.
you're indicating
And
where to focus, and it's hard not
yeah,
to because it's not conscious, it's subconscious.
yeah. We're raised to do it. Would it work
Yep.
on a Chinese person? No, because like
Probably not.
their language is totally different. So like, I mean, it might not. I don't know how all that stuff works in Eastern languages and character languages, and you know what I mean. Like I just don't know. So, but I know that if you're like Western person and you grew up like in speaking English specifically, and you grew up in a Western environment, like that's how it is. And so, it just works. The key is to practice it and to get comfortable with it so that you're not thinking about what you're saying, you're thinking about what they're saying.
And so how would like if you're coaching somebody that is in the position you were just talking about, like they're objection handling, right? But they're mainly following the word tracks. The people that come to you saying almost what you said, right? But they're saying like, if it was free, would you do it? Like they're close, but they're not
Yeah,
quite there. What would be your advice for that person?
I would say like you've got to go from studying the words to studying the intent. Like, what is the meaning, and how do I convey the meaning? And then, you know, once you understand that and you can map out, first of all, I should be able to go like money, objection, go. And you should be able to, without anybody else there, role play it.
So
20
step one
seconds
is
at
like
least
the
is the
scripting.
answer. Why is that? Okay, what is it about that specifically? Okay, you know, and just be able to and just vomit
Yep.
it up super
Easy.
easily. Because without that, it's going to be difficult, you know. And there's
Yep.
enough resources out there to be able to do it, right? Then from there, you want to look at the words, and I think, you know, if you sort of if you've ever done like a Bible study, right, or actually, you know, I mean like more like ubiquitous when you're in like 12th grade and you're reading like To Kill a Mockingbird or whatever, and you read
Right.
every line and they just tear each line apart and they make it like, well, the field represents you know, fucking
Yep.
bananas because like he's afraid of Africa. You know what I mean? Like none of it makes any sense, right? Like you're like, oh,
Yep.
okay, like it's all alliteration and all that
Yeah,
good
whatever you
stuff.
say.
So yeah. And so, you know, but break it apart like that and go like, why is that there? What is that supposed to do? If I change it, what does that do? Is there any meaning or significance to like this wording in particular? Like how else could I say the same thing? And does it actually say the same thing? Just study it like a document, you know, because
Yep.
it is a document, and it's like this is a way of doing something. And is it designed and don't look for scenarios where this won't work, because the whole point is to get good enough at it to where it works a good chunk of the time. And I don't try and teach people how to handle every objection or sell everybody. I try and teach a method that gets you the best chance of making the most amount of sales, which is very different to try and figuring out a method to sell everybody, because that's madness. And my way of doing it I think, will work on a good chunk of people a good chunk of the time, but it won't work on everybody. but that doesn't matter because if you try and find something that works for everybody, you will have nothing, or you'll have 55 different processes, and you'll have to subjectively figure out on the fly which one to use. And good fucking luck with that, dude.
It's just a matter of like going about it intelligently, looking at it
Yeah.
and saying like, you already know you can't sell everybody. And then it's like, okay, but if I come up with a process that I can make duplicatable system, like I can just follow it every time, then I'll sell a lot more than if I didn't have a process.
Absolutely. And on that, I got to drop the mic. That was good, man. I got to go to a training. So good stuff,
Easy.
dude. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
See ya.